Overwatch has something that a lot of games don't have, especially like competitive game, and it's just like, how should I say it? It's like a sense of belonging. The fans are very passionate. A little weird to say, but it's like, you know, traditional sports fans where they're like really into it. They're always like come to their team's games. And when I was younger, like whenever my friends were watching soccer, it looked great. They were having a lot of fun. But like I just really wasn't interested in sports. But you know, I just still want that kind of a thing though. And I think Overwatch League really provided a lot of people with that.
While it's yet to be seen whether Overwatch becomes an esport for the masses, it's clear that meaningful steps have been taken towards realizing that dream. Overwatch League has built momentum, and with the attention paid to production, the long-term revenue potential and the treatment of players, Blizzard looks to have laid strong foundations to build on.
To conclude this series, we're going to look at what the people most involved in the Overwatch League believe have been Blizzard's biggest achievements, what the league has done for esports, and their hopes for its future.
Overwatch League has created a massive wave in media. You know, like you drop a rock in the pond and the waves just keep spreading out. Well, Overwatch League decided to drop a boulder in the pond and then see how that went. And so it's been drawing a fantastic amount of attention from all parties to the league and to esports as a whole. And so it is a positive force in that sense, because the more eyes that get onto esports, the more opportunities are going to be there for everybody who wants to look for that job in esports. The more money that gets drawn in, jobs unlock, more people are in, and the more opportunities we have to find the creative people who are going to continue to push the industry forward.
I think they managed to make it mainstream in a way without pushing for it to be mainstream. I know it's been something which esports and the gaming community, part of them wanted it very badly because they wanted the acceptance. They wanted video game to not be a niche thing. Like, I don't want to be looked at weirdly just because I like video games. That acceptance, I think a lot of people really wanted. And then there was this other side where a lot of people didn't want it. They wanted to be that niche thing. They wanted to be cool, niche, and underground. I think they somehow managed to cross that bridge and make it okay for both sides, because it wasn't that obnoxious pushing it to media like, oh, we need to be on TV, we need to do this. It was really just, hey, we want to make a really cool league. We want everyone to see how amazing this game is and how fun it is to participate, to watch, to cheer on your favorite teams, your country, your town.
There was so much doubt, and I think a lot of people saw the news that there would be an Overwatch League, and immediately your mind goes to, esports event locations like the Esports Arena down in Santa Ana, where it's really well put together, but it's all very much like, okay, well, whoever's there this week like brings the rigs, like it's all very DIY. There's a lot of fly by the seat of your pants, figure it out stuff. And this, when it launched, I think people were just so blown away at the level at which this launched. I don't think anybody was expecting that. I certainly wasn't. Being in the arena is truly a singular experience. It's really fun. And the first time I walked into that arena, I gasped aloud. I was like, oh! I mean, it was incredible. It was one of the best things I've ever seen. I was like, this is how I want to watch video games all the time.
Even at this early stage, there are signs that Blizzard is on the right track. It's belief that, like traditional sports fans, those that love Overwatch would relish the opportunity to watch the game played competitively live, surrounded by fellow fans, or through online streaming services, seems to have been well placed. Blizzard is banking on the buzz surrounding Overwatch League, and the experience of watching the game in an arena being the fuel for its growth. Its plan to replicate the slick live production currently only seen at the Blizzard Arena in hometown stadiums is evidence of this. It's hope that, as the passionate hardcore build attachments to their teams, the casuals will also follow into fandom.
Imagine BlizzCon, which is, 20 to 30,000 of the world's most hardcore Blizzard fans ever. Overwatch League Arena is like if you were to take out of that 30,000, who is the most dedicated, loyal, awesome fan ever. Those are the people who are showing up to that Overwatch League matches like every week, and the energy is just off the hook. Like, it's just such a positive, embracing crowd. I don't know how else to describe it.
The reason that we're in Blizzard Arena this year is we wanted to give our teams time to build that capability, to learn how we do it, to see how we do it. The number one key, I think, to having it become more mainstream is getting people more exposure to it live. Once fans who can't make it to LA have an opportunity to go to a home stadium, I think that's where it starts to get really exciting.
And as Overwatch League grows, the opportunities available to its players will grow with it. By their own admission, the athletes competing today know that, like many other talent-based sports, their time is finite. However, they feel that Overwatch League is also giving them an opportunity for a future in esports beyond scoring kills, pushing payloads, and securing points. This, of course, makes way for new players to rise through the ranks and into league stardom.
That's something that I've appreciated the most about Overwatch just in such a grand scale, because as I said, I was living in Australia doing a university degree before I moved to North America. I had nothing to my name in terms of esports, but this has really given me an opportunity to build up my public following. It's opened the door of esports now so that I can go so many directions from here. It doesn't have to be Overwatch, it doesn't have to be that, but when I do decide to stop playing, there are so many avenues and I can go, and that's one of the things that I love the most about Overwatch and this community that's been built.
It's a very well organized league, and the more professional organized it is, you're probably going to need more manpower. And I think for players, it's not really like the last destination. Sure, you make money, but it doesn't mean that you have to just quit after you make some money and when you retire. If they have the ability, they can be a commentator, some people can be an analyst, coaches, even managers, tons of things actually. I don't think some of the younger players realize that. But the second they stepped into Overwatch League, a lot of doors just opened up for them.
Even prior to the Overwatch League, I would say that becoming an esports professional was something that you could aspire to be. There were other esports titles where the pay would be enough or they got salaried or something like that. What Overwatch League has done differently is not only can you just try and grind your way to the top and do it the same as you would in any other sport, or any other esport, just by getting noticed and picked up by a team, but Overwatch has, and Blizzard has very distinctly set out a step-by-step process. So even though it's still incredibly competitive and it's still very difficult to make it to the top and have a career in that same sense, the steps are not so murky, they're not so hidden, you don't have to really struggle to figure out, okay, what's my step from here to here? How do I actually achieve it?
One of the things that's really awesome about Overwatch League is that any player of Overwatch has the opportunity to make it there someday. And we've put a lot of thought and effort into creating a very clear path for progression. So we have, first of all, Open Division, which looks at all of competitive play, sees players of a certain rank, gives them an opportunity to compete as part of this competitive division, and hopefully get recognized by the tier above them, which is contenders. The other thing that's very interesting about the day and age that we live in now, with streaming being as popular as it is, if you're a really talented player and you're streaming all the time and you're getting recognized on your stream, well, you're right out in front of everybody who's scouting for teams or the general manager for one of these OWL or contenders teams. It's likely that you could get recognized that way as well. So it's kind of an exciting time to be an Overwatch player, to know that there is this path to sort of stardom and success that's out there if you're good enough.
This year I thought we laid a great foundation to build the path to pro for players. We also want to start thinking more about how we build a path to pro for the millions of high school and college kids out there who probably want to work in esports now but don't actually know how to do it. Typically my answer to, hey, I want to work in esports, what do I do, has been, well, you should just start doing it. Start writing a blog, even if only your mom reads it. It's a start, start a podcast. It's the barrier to entry is so low, right? You can just go start creating content. You can go volunteer at a local event. There's so many things that you can do. That is, I think, a great path. But further from that, as the industry starts to grow and develop, we also as a league need to be thoughtful about how we're training talent. One of the things that keeps me up at night is how do we continue to grow and foster and groom on-camera talent? How do we grow and foster and groom production talent? If you think about an average day at the Blizzard Arena for Overwatch League, there's over 100 people there working across the live show, all the shoulder content we produce, the event piece of that. There's so many different roles. Currently, there's not a super deep talent pool of people who can step in and do those things. That's one of the things that we're gonna start being very thoughtful about in the future. We actually have our first 2 interns this summer here at the Overwatch League, which we're really excited about, and bring people in when they're young, get them exposure to what it means to work in esports, because I think probably know, hey, I want to work in esports, but not really sure what is actually available. Like, what are the different jobs that I can do to work in esports? So it's something that we're thinking a lot about.
You don't have to be an amazing player to be involved in esports anymore. You can make your whole career, raise your family, in just being part of the support team of esports. There are a ton of people working for Cloud9. I think we've got somewhere, we're closing in on 100 employees at this point, with medical, vision, dental. I know it seems normal to the rest of the world, but in America that's very rare.
Regardless of whether Overwatch League fails or succeeds in hitting the critical mass, the people responsible for creating it agree it is a worthy endeavor. For them, even if Overwatch doesn't become the global sport of the future, Overwatch League will have been a stride forward for esports as a whole.
I hope that some of the things that we've done will inspire other game companies, game publishers, esports operators to do similar things, and to, again, keep the whole ecosystem moving forward. Because I think we're still at a phase where esports, it isn't mass yet. I think there's a lot of people who now know what the word is, but they, ask me, what's going on with the e-gamers?
We have a lot of families coming here to the arena. A lot of dads with their daughters, or mothers with their sons, whole families. Everyone's just coming together here into the arena. Seeing them enjoying this together, sharing this passion, I can't even describe how that makes me feel, because I'm coming from a place where that was just not a thing. There was no way my parents would have thought of enjoying video games with me. That was not a thing. So seeing how accepted this is now, it just made me genuinely happy. I had that one time where a dad came up with his daughter. She was the sweetest, cutest thing I've ever seen. She was super shy. She just smiled at me, didn't dare to actually say something. So of course I went up to her, seeing that she's staring at me. So I was like, hi, how are you doing? And then she started crying. And I was like, oh God, what have I done? So I went down on my knees and asked her if she's okay. And then she's like, I never thought I'll meet you. I watch with Daddy every day. And I hope I can be like you when I grow up. And hearing that made me cry. Like, I'm almost tearing up right now, because being a role model for a little girl, I have no words for that. I never in my life would have thought that I can be this for another person. And this makes me so happy. It just makes me want to work double as hard and do double as much, so we can inspire more people to make this career choice, to share their passion for video games and shout it from the rooftop.
I've said this before, and it doesn't make people happy when I say this, but if Overwatch League ends up being a failure, which of course we hope it does not, we're doing everything in our power to make it the most amazing thing ever, but if it ends up being a failure, in my mind it will still be a success, because for a moment it made everybody think much bigger about what esports not only could be, but should be.
It's going to come out on top. Striker though lands a big triple on the barrage there. The Graviton helping. Both supports are caught together. That's what they needed, but Carpe strikes in again. Striking down. Fellix on the big remove. Carpe